Hey, here we are again.
I like these cooking shows.
Yes, this is called a kitchen cast.
Kitchen cast.
It's the kitchen cast.
I like it.
Big news with John and Greg. We're happy you're here. Tonight we're going to make paella.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us. Like and subscribe. Smash that like button.
Smash it. We need more
likes.
likes.
If you hate us,
still smash the like button.
Yeah,
please.
Absolutely. Why not? Good to see you, buddy. Cheers.
I don't think anybody that watches us actually hates us. I don't know.
You'd be a fool to hate us.
We can be obnoxious now and again, but we're pretty entertaining. So, a little thing here that's exciting. Greg has himself a new piece of kitchenware. Do you want to tell him about it, Greg?
Yes, I do. I have a brand new Le Creuset razor. This is red one here, bright red. It's really nice, and I'm gonna make paella in it tonight, and I think it's gonna turn out really well. So what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to do like 5 things at the same time.
Yes. How do you make paella in a half hour?
I'm gonna show you.
This is exciting. This is even more challenging than Buchhöhner chili in 25.
Exactly. So it is 9:05
or stew rather.
Right. So it's 9:05. So let's go and start the clock. I just put the butter in the pan and start melting. So start the butter. Start the clock. Okay.
Yeah, Food Network's gonna be calling us soon.
Yeah.
They gotta be. I mean.
So first thing I'm gonna do.
This is like Iron Chef stuff here.
Yeah. I'm gonna put some oil in here first. Okay.
Is that an olive oil or a?
Olive oil. Yeah. Heat it up. My new Le Creuset pan that I washed. Okay.
Always a good idea with a new pan.
Yeah. That's exactly right. So
I don't think it really hurts you if you don't wash it, but there's usually that they put stuff in it for packaging is gonna affect the taste.
No. So
No.
So that's warming up. So anyway,
okay, great.
So what have you been up to, man?
Had an insane Black Friday weekend. Oh my gosh, we were so freaking busy, and I will tell you, you know me, I eat out after work a lot because I get out, 7:30, whatever, usually. And the restaurants I was going to were slow. So I think America is been binge buying for the holidays. And I will tell you, I don't know what our record is on Black Friday, but none of the Calhouns watch this, so they wouldn't care whether I tell you this, but we did like $55,000 in sales on Friday, Black Friday. Amazing. We mostly sell shoes. Yes, there's some handbags there and some other accessories, but mostly shoes. $55,000
in one day. I would never guess it. I would never guess it.
That like Nordstrom's in an entire store probably does 55,000 some days.
It's like what Taqueria does in a week or like some weeks.
Yes. You guys are efficient. Yes.
Some bad people maybe watch. I gotta stay.
You gotta be careful with how you do that.
So ask me what I'm doing here. What do I have going on?
I sort of implied that to start with, but we'll go. So what's the process you're going to do to cut down the time to make paella? So normally paella takes hours.
It takes hours. So I'm going to do it all at the same time. So what I've got my olive oil here working.
Okay.
Got my olive oil here cooking. I've got my beautiful
scallops.
I've got them in butter.
Which I know you're going to barely cook because that's how you always do it.
Exactly. With a little bit of pepper. If you want, you can
put a real light
salt. Just keep it real.
Just keep it real.
We got that going.
Yep.
And if you would hand me the chicken, if you don't mind.
Absolutely. I am the sort of sous chef. He still really did all the work.
You are the sous chef. So then
he still really did all the work. I'm
Yeah.
going to hand him shit.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the chicken in here. Okay.
Okay.
Get the chicken going. Now, when I cook, I will admit, I am a purist when it comes to cooking.
Yes, you are. You don't even have a microwave in this house.
Right. I am a purist. However...
But you like accelerated cooking.
Yeah, well, the thing is
about being efficient.
A lot of people who are absolute purists, they would say, why don't you use a paella pan from Spain, which
right.
it has.
very, very wide and flat.
Right, but they always
They burn. They burn. Yes.
So I'm not doing that. I'm using a brand new laser save razor.
Okay.
All right, and so
which would brown things nicely without burning.
Yeah, and it ought to. We should get the same end result.
Well, you're traditionalist, but you're innovative at the same time. There you go. You can do that. You can be a traditionalist and yet be innovative in how you do things. Like, I'm going to throw in an Elon Musk moment here. You can be a rocketeer and reuse your rockets, even though no one else ever did it, just because you figured out a way to do it. Right? There is literally one of the Falcon 9 rockets is getting ready to go on its 20th launch in the next couple weeks.
Wow.
The 20th launch. So it'll be reused 19 times.
Amazing.
No one else has a rocket that can be reused with any size.
Amazing.
It's amazing. So you are the Elon Musk of Paella.
So speaking of your boy Elon Musk.
Oh yeah, he does weird shit.
And I know you love him.
He does weird shit.
I know in your book he can do no harm.
No, that's not true.
However, this past week, 10 different major corporations have decided not to advertise with him because of the anti-Semitic.
The perceived anti-Semitic,
I
will say.
Well, 10 different major corporations are perceiving it.
Yes. It was more the Media Matters response to it that caused that. I would see most of them coming back. I thought it was something he should not have responded to. I read the post and I thought it was stupid, but I didn't think it was anti-Semitic. But
I didn't think it was anti-Semitic either, but I think it's been
it's just he needs to be more careful about what he does. I mean, he has responsibilities to all the people that work for him, and so it's not beyond the investors.
So let me ask you this. So then, in your opinion, do you feel that Elon Musk behaves differently, since he's a super rich guy, behaves much differently than his peers?
I think he behaves much differently on X, which used to be Twitter, than he does in the real world. Like, if you ever see him in an actual interview, he's really smart and usually has pretty good observant comments on things.
But that doesn't.
But as soon as he goes on late at night on X, after playing some video games or some shit, I don't know what it is, he will just post some stupid stuff. Stupid. It's stupid. I mean, this is the guy that when Ukraine was attacked and all their communications were cut down, he said, I'm going to send over Starlink communication equipment and give that to them to use so that they can do things. He did it. He took the satellites, said, let's direct these so they can use these. Okay, good. Then they get upset because he won't turn them on for Crimea, which had already been taken prior, before this war ever started.
You do me a favor.
He says that's the government's province.
Will you hand me that cutting board over there?
Yes. So I think we should show them this cool cleaver you have. That's very exciting.
You show it to them.
So this is an antique that Greg has that, when I get out of hand, might be used on me for talking too long. Hit me on the head though. No fingers or hands or arms here. Anyway, so he does that, and the good thing. So then here's the crazy thing. So, and this is documented like by the New York Times and Washington Post and stuff. The military and the government is now so dependent on SpaceX. You want me to put it in the trash?
No, trash over.
Because I think sometimes you throw it out in the yard for mulching, or whatever you call it.
Right.
Not mulching. What do you call
for
that?
For our friends.
Yeah, for our friends. And so they're building a special system for the government, for the military, and whoever wants to use it. They're going to pay SpaceX for this. I think what are they calling it? It's the Sky Shield, or anyways. it'll be a satellite communication system that's more secure than anything that they've ever had, and they're paying him for it. Well, not him, but SpaceX, which is run by, what is her first name? Miss Shotwell. Let's call her. So the person that runs SpaceX for Elon is Gwen Shotwell. That's her name. Sounds like a fake name, doesn't it? That's really her name. And so the bizarre part about this is one of the things, like when Hamas attacked Israel. This sounds kind of trivial at this point, right? But one of the things that he determined was that anybody, and this is again very limited, but anybody that has a Tesla can do free supercharging the entire time the war is going on. In other words, you don't have to worry about getting gas, whatever. You just plug in, you know. But then he goes and he has to comment on this guy's idiotic post about how, like, something to do with is Jews or is, I can't remember the post, but it's something about the nature of there's a lot of cancellation of white people by Jews or some stupid shit like this. So it's trying to suggest that some Jews that live in Israel are actually some Arab descent are trying to cancel white people. Again, it's not anti-Semitic, really. It's about this guy and he says, "Oh, you're talking the truth" or something.
Right.
Just stay out of it, dude. Just really stay out of it. When he goes on Saturday Night Live, the opening thing is like, you didn't think a guy that was going to land rockets on barges, reusable rockets, and transform the world to electric vehicles was going to be some chill dude, right? That's the problem.
Well, you can also say, John, that Bill Gates transforms computers, and he is a chill dude.
Well, his wife Melinda is not so sure about that these days. But anyways,
well, he got some side pussy. that's what happened there.
But he's pretty chill. But and certainly Windows. But I mean, Steve Jobs is definitely not a chill dude, and you could argue Apple transformed computers more than that.
I agree.
So Steve was more an Elon type of dude. He pissed off a lot of people, but they revolutionized. I mean, where would phone, like, Nokia would still be a thing if Apple didn't introduce the iPhone, right?
Right.
Do you know what Nokia does now? They still exist.
Yeah.
They make towers that transmit cellular stuff, but they don't actually make phones anymore. So I don't know. I mean, it's all interesting discussions. I think part of it is that he's such a visual example of a super wealthy dude. Now, one thing that's misunderstood by a lot of people is he came from relatively nothing. Like, they were maybe an upper middle class family in South Africa, right? But his wealth is from what he has done. It's not like the Koch brothers or something, where it's their family business, or even Donald Trump, who his dad really started the fortune, you know. If it wasn't for Elon, the Musk family would just be some. His brother would probably be a successful restaurateur or something like that, but they wouldn't be world famous. They wouldn't be all that special of a thing. His family, in fact, here's an interesting thing. His grandparents, so his mom's parents, were both adventurers. His grandmother was from Canada. His grandfather was American. Then they ended up in South Africa because they, like you, went and got. He had himself a pilot's license, and they could be extra adventurers. But he was such an adventurer. He made his first plane or some weird shit like that. I can't remember what it was. Well, there's still a piece of pepper in there. If you want to throw it in there. I'll eat it. I like fresh peppers. So there's a weird lineage there. But speaking of Israel and giving free access to superchargers, we had good news this week on hostages being released with a ceasefire. What's your take on that?
Well, I think it's good that they've made. Well,
it's complicated.
Here's the actual truth. Okay,
it's complicated.
This is the real deal.
Yeah.
Israel for 4 weeks or 5 weeks blew the fuck out of Palestine.
Gaza.
Fucked up Gaza.
Yeah.
I mean,
especially the north part.
Obliterated Gaza. Okay.
They say like something like 60% of northern Gaza is gone.
So then they said, okay, now we'll talk. Now we'll do a truce because we kind of done our job. Now we're going to do a truce.
I think it's all Netanyahu. I mean, Biden's been trying to get a truce for the swap for like 4 weeks.
But let me make something clear, John.
Right.
Okay. I think what Hamas did was wrong. Okay.
100%.
However,
but this is an overreaction.
This is an overreaction. I'm going to tell you what. Do you realize over 15,000 Palestinians have been fucking shot?
Well, they died. They died
they
from bombing and all kinds of shit.
They have fucking died, dude.
Yeah.
They have fucking died.
So again, this is, like I said, I think I said this in one of our videos, maybe not, maybe this I had a discussion somewhere else. It's almost like Netanyahu and his Likud and stuff. They knew this shit, that the Hamas was planning this, and they purposely didn't respond to it because they knew they could use the excuse to go in and get rid of Hamas. Yeah. Which is really, if that really, it's a conspiracy theory I'm coming up with, or maybe other people have, right? But that is really horrendous because you had 1,700 Israelis that were burned and slaughtered and shit.
Right.
Just so you could go in and get rid of Hamas. Now, Hamas is a bad group, man. They're a bad group. So, but you have bad people running countries all over the world. And we got a weirdo bad dude running Argentina now because he was voted in. This is a radio programmer who went around and campaigned with a chainsaw that he was going to cut all the waste out of.
Some garlic powder.
Okay, so garlic powder. That's going in the paella.
Garlic powder, okay.
Yeah. All right. So give us a little rundown of what's going on here. You've been doing a lot of stuff here. Give us a little highlight here. We got the veggies in here, and we're doing a little saute on the veggies with the chicken.
Sauteing the vegetables, okay. Keeping it real.
Right. And we've already cooked the protein now.
It's all partially cooked. Par cooked.
Okay.
Okay. So then now what we're doing is we're simply just getting this stuff ready here for the main deal. Okay.
Okay.
So now it's 9:19. So 15 minutes have passed. Okay.
Right. Okay.
So now let's go ahead and put in our chicken.
So that's just going to go back in.
We'll put the chicken back in.
And the seafood waits till the very end, right?
Very end.
It cooks so fast, right?
Chicken, okay. So now what we're going to do?
Smelling really good. Wish y'all could smell. I wish we had smell-o-vision here.
Right. So now what we're going to do? We're going to put in our chicken stock.
And what is this little?
What we're going to do now? What we're going to do now is put in our chicken stock.
Okay.
May I have chicken stock, please?
Chicken stock?
Yes. There you go. Awesome.
Alrighty there.
There you go.
There you go.
So the chicken stock here.
Like Food Network, we don't show them the brand, right? Because they might think we were getting paid by them. Right. We're not. No. Greg paid for all this. He's the host with the most.
So we'll hold on to that right there, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, then if you hand me
tomatoes?
Yeah, you can hand me the tomatoes, sure.
Before the lemons?
Okay. Right. Hand me the tomatoes, sure. Thanks.
Okay. So at this point, we're almost making a lightly broth stew of sorts.
I guess you can call it that, okay.
Right, and then that moisture is going to go into the rice.
This is tomato paste.
Okay. There's a key thing to this, isn't it?
No, the key thing is the saffron.
Okay. Oh, yes, that's what makes it paella.
Yeah, so
rice and saffron.
So we just add some tomato paste. How much? About this much.
So...
Okay. about that
That's
much.
one of those instinctive
Yeah, you just
substitutions.
kinda, just
Yeah,
eyeball it,
this
okay?
feels good.
Just eyeball it. So that's that right there.
All right.
This one just doesn't know.
Cat, I'll take care of the cat. You got shit to do.
You take care of the cat. All right.
What do you need now? The lemon?
No.
That goes near the end, right?
Rice.
Okay. Rice. Okay. So where is the rice?
Rice.
Oh,
Right
there
here.
it is. Okay.
This is the rice. So what we do is we just put this in here. Okay. Maybe I'm gonna do this right here.
Mm-hmm.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna put this in right here.
Like that.
Yeah.
Greg's got good at this producing thing here.
All right. So put that in here, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna do. Actually, what we can do is we can do this here. We can do
Picture in picture, leave us in the little corner.
Yeah, we're gonna do picture in picture.
You got that
here.
technology?
Yeah, we're gonna do picture in picture here, and then just leave us in the corner here.
That's what I'm saying. If you can do that, that's high tech.
Well, I don't know if I can do that or not.
You can do. I know you can do the other version, right? You can put the food in. Let's just do the whole screen on the cooking thing. Is fine, I think.
Oh, there's the picture in picture.
Yeah, I'm saying I think just go full screen on the food cooking thing.
On the cooking, okay.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna pause just for 1 second. All right, so here we are. This is it right here, okay? So,
all right, good.
So now,
so all that moisture is going to become what the rice soaks up.
right, exactly. So now we need the paella. Can you give that to me? Oh,
it's right there, of course. Yep.
All right. So now, what we do is we
So
put
paella. If you can do it while you're pouring the rice in there, explain to the people that are watching us, the thousands of them, why is it called paella?
Because back.
I know you've been to Spain and you've done all this stuff.
So then, back before the times of Jesus Christ, somebody made this. The person's name was unknown, and they actually had caves, and they did a cave drawing, drawing of a horse, of some plants, of a human, and they made a picture of a paella.
Okay.
And so they use a certain.
And that's where the whole pan, the wide thin pan comes from.
And so they wrote it out in Sanskrit.
Sanskrit.
Paella. And so finally somebody.
I feel like the Sanskrit part's a little BS.
The whole thing's BS.
But I like it. It's a good story. I like it.
The whole thing's BS, right? So.
I like it. You are always creative.
So this is it right here. So then you just cover it like that. Keep it real. Cover this up.
So you still got a little bit of rice better.
Got some rice
left for like a single serving somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So put that in the sink.
Mm-hmm.
Put that there. We're gonna add our saffron,
which is very much a key part here.
Key part.
Saffron is a very expensive.
Dude, it's expensive.
Is it considered an herb? What is it considered? It's the. I know it comes from a certain flower, and it is the male part of the flower or whatever. It's the what's that called? The
pistil.
Pistil, I think. Yeah. Anyways, amazing amount of flavor for the size of it, but it's apparently time consuming to produce and to procure.
Right. So now we're just doing this here. We're just gonna let that be like that.
Spanish saffron.
And then what we're gonna do, if you open up this Warsteiner beer, please.
Absolutely. Sir, there you go.
Okay, now this is what you call the Vassilios.
This is what is a Buchhöhner Paella, right?
Yes, this is the Buchhöhner. This is the Buchhöhner piece right here.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Vassilios. So we just add a little bit of beer in there, just to give it some flavor. It's just gonna give it some flavor. So we're just gonna let it run like that for About
20 minutes or so for rice, no? How are you going to get that rice to cook in like 15 minutes, 10 minutes?
watch this. Watch this is what the redneck said.
He's the miracle max of paella here.
Right, that's right.
Yeah, that's from. Oops, that didn't break. That's a reference from the Princess Bride movies. If you've never watched it, Miracle Max. He brings back the dead Dread Pirate Roberts after he's been his life's been pumped out of him by the evil Prince Humperdinck. Go look it up. Watch it. One of the best movies ever made. One of the best movies ever made, in my opinion. What do you think? You a fan?
Which
The Princess Bride.
I never seen it.
Oh my gosh, you've never seen The Princess Bride? Oh my gosh. That's like the Star Wars of romantic historical comedy.
So I
know that's a pretty big deal.
Right.
Just saying, go watch it.
So I got a nice text today.
Okay.
From Vassilios from Buchhöhner.
Okay.
So last week I had made some dinner.
He's the me of Bruhan.
Yes, exactly. So he sent me a Greek guy who speaks German. He says, hey, thanks for mentioning me and saying hello, and one of the videos I sent him when I was out there grilling some food.
Uh-huh.
And I thought it was really nice, So
he seems like a good guy. I've never met him. I know Marcus, but I don't know him.
Yeah. So I think it would be cool if you came to Germany one day and hung out for a week.
I'd love to do that.
I think you'd love it.
I would love to do that. I have to find the right time when Mom doesn't need me enough, because it's a daily thing with me and Mom, and I'd love to do that.
It's just like a dream world.
It would be so much fun.
It's like a dream world.
Your little place where you stay, there's an extra bed I could hang out with. Yeah. And I got to go find
there's a crib for you.
There's a crib to hang out with.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
And Marcus needs to come visit us. Just saying. Marcus, come on. You got to come back to America, man.
He needs to come back to America, yes.
Come on.
That's right. So,
let's do a trade. I'll come there, you come here.
So, tell me something philosophical, something interesting, something meaningful that went to your heart that happened this past week, if anything. Something interesting.
It's a Thanksgiving week. I have something to share.
Share.
It's going to be unexpected. My friend Greg here is one of my absolute best friends, and he and my friend, my brother, essentially from college, Henry, have not always. They like each other, but Henry's had his moments where he doesn't know when to not say something, kind of like Elon. And Greg was kind enough on Thanksgiving Day to make my day. It makes me almost want to tear up. Say, I think Henry deserves a second chance. Brother, I'm literally tearing up.
Don't tear up. The Star Wars is about redemption.
It is.
Right? Star Wars, right? Because, cheers.
I'm serious.
Don't cry.
I'm not crying, but I'm close.
You're going to make me cry. Will this help our ratings? Cry.
Cry, yes. I'm crying, people. With joy, though. It's crying with joy.
Well, Anakin Skywalker wanted redemption. That's what that whole movie was about.
It was, and he got it. He got it
in the end, right?
He did.
So there's nothing wrong with a person wanting redemption.
Exactly. That's what's special. I don't think you were planning on that, but that was special to me. Thank you, Greg.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Henry thanks you too. Henry had a great time. And the lasagna was freaking awesome. You've made that lasagna before, but I think that was the best batch. I don't know what was. Maybe it was the extra time sort of just gelling in the oven or something. That was fantastic.
So what I've got here is when I'm pushing it around, I can feel the rice kind of stick a little bit to the bottom, right?
So that is the key thing with paella. That's where you get the toasty flavor.
That's called a socarat.
Socarat. Yes.
Socarat. Okay? So you see it kind of starting to want to become paella, you know. It wants to be it. So we're gonna let it boil for a few more minutes, and then we're just gonna do a slow simmer. If you put that over there, please. We're just gonna do a slow simmer. So we start at 9:05, and now it's just been 30 minutes.
Right.
Okay, it's been an honest 30 minutes.
Yes. And we're darn close.
Yeah.
So, because the fact the rice is wanting to stick. You see, so in a paella pan, so let's while this is doing its thing. So a traditional paella pan, which is much thinner, it's a carbon stainless, right? So it gets very hot and it tends to crust, which is the socarat, whatever you said. Socarat. Okay.
Socarat.
So this seems much better way to make it. But I guess it's tradition is why they do it that way. This just seems to be a better way to make everything. So, but you've been to Spain. You've had paella in Spain. I have not. I believe Henry has had paella in Spain. What is it that is there any flavor advantage to having the rice kind of a little bit more crusted and I guess caramelized or something? Because your paella is as good as I've had. I mean, I've had it made traditionally here in America. I've never been to Spain and had it. So, what is the experience? Is it part of it just the tradition?
It's just how it's made right here. There's the Warsteiner for
Right.
For the Vassilios.
Well, again, you're being slightly traditionalist, but being slightly innovative at the same time here.
Beer. So, yeah. So all I know is what I know, and that's all I know. Right?
The reason I'm asking you this, though, you do such a great job. What inspired you to say, I can make paella in under an hour?
So watch this. So then...
Right?
Sure. So then I enjoy cooking. So we all have our pressures throughout life.
Sure.
Life brings pressure. Right?
Always.
Life
every day.
Pressure. So
every day.
So I think, well, what can make me happy? What can make me happy? Well, you're not always available. What can make me happy? You know what makes me happy if I'm by myself or if I can grab a friend is to cook.
Yes,
it's just
your passion.
Cook. For some reason, I enjoy cooking.
It's probably the reason you got into the restaurant business.
Maybe subconsciously.
Subconsciously. Even though you wouldn't definitely do Mexican food subconsciously.
I understood hospitality.
Right, okay.
I understand that piece. And I understand it well. So if you can pull off hospitality with a restaurant, then you've got a home run.
You do. Which I was always advised to avoid hospitality by my parents.
Yes.
And my grandparents, who had, we maybe talked about this before, a motel in Daytona Beach. The old school, like, 50s, 60s thing with the shuffleboard and all that shit. Right. I remember my dad telling me, John, you do whatever makes you happy in life, but I highly advise you against hospitality business. Hotel and restaurant. That's what he told me.
Right.
And it's hard work. It's a lot of work. A lot of time.
So then you say to yourself, well, what job is easy? Well, there's a lot of jobs that are kind of easy, right? Like being a teller in a bank, or working at Walmart, or a lot of jobs are kind of easy. But if you want to excel at a job, then the job becomes challenging because you want to excel.
Right.
And when you want to excel, that's when things get kind of tricky, and you got to start doing some problem solving. Right? So then the businesses that excel, the people that excel at their career, are the ones that are willing to handle these challenges,
extra
take
mile
these challenges,
right?
Take these challenges and go with them.
Right.
A lot of people aren't willing to do that.
For sure.
Right.
Right.
So if you take, for example, the finest heart surgeon, and the finest brain surgeon, the finest lawyer, the finest school teacher, or the finest whoever, right? The finest car
shoe fitter.
A shoe fair, exactly. Exactly. You have to choose wisely.
It's correct.
Right. Or anybody who's working super hard.
Right? That's the difference. It's how hard you work.
If you're working hard,
how hard you
paying
work.
attention to these small details.
Right.
Even if you
don't have to be the smartest.
If you deliver firewood, if you know how to retain your customers, curate more, and keep them coming back.
You're the one that goes the extra mile to make sure the firewood is there in time when they need it.
Exactly.
The difference isn't you don't have to be brilliant. You have to be smart enough to get it done, but outwork the other guy or gal.
That's why my restaurants.
My dad has a saying.
You don't have to be brilliant.
My dad has always had a saying. I was like, "You're such a successful attorney," and he says, "Well, his brother was 12 years older. His brother inspired him to be a labor attorney. Okay, but my dad, unfortunately, his brother died very young at lung cancer.
You told me.
Couldn't stop smoking filter-free cancer sticks. Anyways, he said, I never worked a day in my life because I loved what I did. So he worked his ass off. He wasn't always the earliest one to work, but he was there later than anybody else by far. I think I've told you this. I don't know if I've ever told you people. My dad, his last 2 years, was voted by his peers as one of the top 1 or 2 labor attorneys in the country.
So you come.
I will never be voted best in the country.
You're going to be voted the best shoe fairer in the United States of America.
My dad is a beast. He's a small guy.
You know what I heard about you?
What's that?
I heard shoes are right up your alley.
It took you a second, but I knew you'd have a good one. You're so clever. You're so clever, my friend.
Shoes are up your alley.
I can be interesting in a conversation, but you are definitely wittier than I am.
I just have the one-liners.
You're good at one-liners. That's what I'm talking. Witty. It's a witty thing. Anyway, so the rest of the story on this is saying that Greg here he's done what my dad did. He took it to another limit. I mean, you're the one that introduced Taco Tuesday to North Carolina, dude. I know you don't want to agree to that, but you did.
Yeah, kind of crazy, right?
Kind of crazy. LeBron stole it from you nationwide, but
who did?
LeBron. Remember you doing those videos? Taco Tuesday.
LeBron James?
LeBron James, yeah.
I need to sue his ass.
You should sue him. You should. Like two years ago. Taco Tuesday!
Oh, wow.
Come on.
I'm always getting screwed. Right? I'm always getting screwed. What else? Let's check on our paella here.
I love your confident humility.
Check it out, man. Check it out, man.
It's looking good, brother.
It's on the computer.
Looking good.
It looks good, man.
Looking good.
It's going to be a legit.
I mean, I've had this before. I've never watched you make it the whole way. And
so
I know it's good.
So then I bought this Le Creuset brazier to make paella. And then and other things, of course.
Right.
To make paella. And so I appreciate you coming over here and test driving it with me.
I appreciate you making awesome paella for me. And we do a cool video.
Cool video.
And I'm going to throw in a Made in America moment. Right?
Do it.
So, Greg mentions this to me the other day that he bought this. And I'm like, they make great stuff. And I thought to myself, which I did not mention until I got here, there's a company called Lodge Manufacturing based out of Pittsburgh, Tennessee. Much smaller town than Pittsburgh, PA. And they are known for cast iron cookware. Well, they've been making cast iron cookware for over 100 years there.
Right.
But their enamel cast iron has been made in China for the last 15 years. Well, this year, they finally introduced Made in America Lodge enameled cast iron. It's the only company doing it in North America. And
Wow.
I thought that's pretty cool. You know me, if I was buying you a Christmas present and you didn't already have this, I'd be buying that for you.
Word. So then this beer here, I just showed the TV.
It's kind of like
I've already opened it.
that.
Right, exactly. So this beer here has an orangey flavor to it.
An orangey flavor.
It's a local beer and I don't like it, so I'm going to drink.
Oh, this is that one that's slightly strange lager.
Weird. So I'm going to drink a Warsteiner beer in a Warsteiner glass. Okay?
Appropriate for the paella,
yes.
which uses the Warsteiner.
Yes, because I can't take that orange, that crazy orange.
It's an odd. I hate to say it, but I'm gonna just say it. It's local, but it's
an
not quite
oddball
right.
flavor.
It's not a bad beer. It's just not what they describe it as. They call it a pilsner. It's not.
If you're desperate for a beer, so here it is right here.
It's not a pilsner. It's.
I don't know what it is, bro, but it's
just,
called Slack Tire Pilsner by Mason Jar Lager Company.
Bavarian
Star Pilsner.
It does not taste like a traditional pilsner. I'm willing to say. I hope they're successful in some way, but that is not a particularly good example of that style beer.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
So since I'm not
Warsteiner's a signature beer. You can't get better than that right there.
So since I'm not desperate to drink beer,
right?
If I'm gonna drink a beer, I'm gonna drink a beer that I enjoy.
I'm drinking a phenomenal American beer,
and I enjoy Warsteiner.
That is brewed actually here in North Carolina for the East Coast. Dale's Pale Ale. It's a little higher gravity than I normally drink. It's like 5.6%. But I was drinking something called coffee and lager. I had 2 of those before I got here, and they have caffeine in them. And I was kind of wired, so I thought the higher alcohol would bring me down, and it's worked perfectly. So coffee lager is made by a brewery called Steel Hands Brewing. Started in the suburb of Columbia, South Carolina, Casey, South Carolina. But they have a brewery here in Greensboro now. And it's a really cool place, honestly. So, but then I'm biased. I just like Greensboro. I think...
do me a favor. Hand me that chicken broth, please.
Absolutely. Just enough to finish it off, probably.
Oh, yeah.
So... I'm definitely. I think my makeup is I'm a homer. If I like the place where I am, I like to promote it. I love Greensboro. I would probably say though, if I went to college in Lexington, Kentucky, which was an alternative there for a place called Transylvania College, I'd probably still be there and love it, even though the politics there are insane. But they do have Andy Beshear, somebody like Roy Cooper here, a Democratic governor but this is a very red state. North Carolina is a purple state. So,
I'm going to tell you about something that happened to me last week.
Okay.
So
Greg's a good storyteller, much better than me. You are. I really think that's true. You give me a lot of credit for being entertaining, and I think people find me entertaining. I ramble on. You are a good storyteller.
You don't ramble on. You just speak truth.
Well, I do like Ramble On by Led Zeppelin. So yeah. I'm okay if you tell me I ramble on. They reference in Ramble On, we have a reference to Lord of the Rings. Anyways, sorry I interrupted you.
It's okay. If you can buy the rights to Ramble On, you should make a podcast. You could either call it John or just call it Ramble On.
Ramble On. I would go with Ramble On.
Call it Ramble On. Ramble On with John.
Ramble On with John. It would fit into the whole Google search thing.
You'd be famous.
Why are we big news with John and Greg? Because you find that easier than you find big news with John or Greg. Big news with John and Greg. You put that in the search, boom, you're there. So story.
I'm going to tell you something that happened. So here I am, a guy, 53, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ran my business for 23 years. It does well. I've been fortunate.
Done
right?
very well for yourself.
I've done some neat things in my life, and
Yeah.
so on and so forth, right? So then I've done some very the things I've done with my career. I don't know if other people could have survived what I went through.
You've been through some tough shit.
I went through some tough shit,
yes,
right?
You have.
So
I don't even know if you want to share all of that.
Well, I mean, I know
the downtown restaurant.
Right. So I know a lot about, crisis management. I know a lot about human resource. I know a lot about just management in general. I know a lot about training. Right. I know a lot about perseverance, and I know a lot about emotional intelligence. On and on and on. Right. I mean, hospitality and whatever, right? I have a catalog of all of this.
You have a graduate degree in life.
A PhD.
PhD, yes.
In hospitality, right?
Yes.
An honorary PhD.
Life hospitality, yes.
Yes.
You do.
So then here I am, this guy, 53, who's had a whole career, right?
Right.
20 years is a career, right?
Yep.
Isn't that correct? 20 years is a career?
Yep.
So I've had
at least in this particular scenario. Even before that,
Well, isn't you retire after 20 years? Is that right?
Sure. Yeah. Right. Get the gold watch.
All right. So then here I am, 53, and I've run this business that typically, I think after 3 years, it goes broke.
Typically, 3 to 5 years, they usually go out of business.
Go broke. Yes. So then it's been 23 years, and I've been fortunate. So then here I am applying for jobs to be a pilot. Okay.
Right. Okay, this is interesting.
So now
you've worked for yourself for all this time.
And now I want to work for somebody else. And so we have asymmetrical information here. Okay?
Right.
We have asymmetrical information.
This is fascinating. I like where this is going. This is a good story.
Well, I know you like a big word.
No. I just like where this is going story-wise. I think this is great.
So there's asymmetrical information. Right? So then to them, I'm just a guy with a resume. Whatever's on a resume, this is what they know about me.
Right.
That's all they know.
But you don't have a big resume if you're not putting your self-employment business owning in there.
No, my resume says Taco Bell has taken.
Right, you're on the restaurant guy.
Right. It says I'm a restaurant guy turned wannabe pilot.
Right.
So then I'm speaking with these people. So on Thursday evening, I spoke with this great company, and I had prepared for this interview. I didn't prepare properly, but I did prepare, and
which is odd for you, though. You usually are an over-preparer.
Well,
maybe you didn't really want the job that much. I'm just throwing that in.
It's a cool company.
It's a cool company.
It's a cool company. So then
be a good opportunity. Yeah.
So this girl calls me up a few days prior, and she invites me to the meeting, and she said, and I said, so how do I dress? She said, just dress how you would dress for any job you want to get. For any job interview. Right. So I'm thinking coat and tie.
Right. That's my you generation. And I, old school. That's not now, though.
It's my right. So then
I'm not saying that's wrong, but that's how we would perceive it.
I just know coat and tie.
Right.
When I went to Revco to get a job, it was coat and tie.
Right. Yeah.
So here I am. I showed up in coat and tie, Zoom, Microsoft meetings.
Right.
There. And then I see 3 kids at this table wearing golf shirts.
Exactly. We're old.
Exactly. And that's
it's a different world, man.
That's how I felt. John, that's how I felt. I felt old.
Right. But yet we're not.
Old and out of touch. John, I'm
out of touch. I don't do TikTok, man.
John, I felt old, out of touch. I felt like a fish out of water. I felt like I shouldn't be there. I felt so bad, right?
Right.
And then so these people They just want to talk about it. I mean, it's their business, it's their job, it's their position. They can do what they want, ask me what they want because that's their job, right?
Right.
And I respect that. I get it. So then they asked me, they there was no like, what's your background or nothing like that. The softball question.
Right.
It was like, let's get to the technical stuff. Okay, fine.
Uh-huh.
So they asked me first about a TAF.
Okay.
Terminal Aerodrome Forecast.
Which you would be good at. You're good at technical stuff.
Well,
I would think.
So then I read it, but I read it slowly like I'm in 7th grade.
Okay.
Okay, because it's not something that you read every day.
Okay.
It's always given to you in a different form in ForeFlight.
Okay.
It's always given to you in a different form, like in English. There's not a bunch of symbols.
Right. Okay.
So then you've got to know how to translate these symbols, and which I can do, but I do it like I'm in 7th grade.
Okay.
Or 6 years old.
Not a ton of practice.
Right. So then I translate these symbols, and while I'm doing it, I'm thinking to myself, you are fucking up. You are just really...
You know you're taking too long. It should be an automatic
You're making an ass of yourself.
Yeah, right.
So the guy's nice to me. His name, I'll say his name. His name is Clay.
Okay.
Nice guy. And I felt like he was rooting for me. And he said, keep on going. He's like, okay. And then he asked me questions and blah, blah. And so then we get to brief and approach.
Okay.
So then you have this approach plate, and it's the instructions how to get to a runway when you're in the clouds. That's what it is, right?
Right,
so
which you had just had some experience with going to Jacksonville, correct?
Yes. So then I know how to brief an approach plate in my head.
Ah, I see. So you know how to do the thing, but not necessarily explain to somebody.
I've never worked as crew before. Excuse me, John. I've never worked as crew before in an airplane, so I don't know what it sounds like to brief an approach.
Gotcha.
I have no idea what it sounds like because I've never had an approach briefed to me before.
Right, I wouldn't even think
about
that. So
then they're asking me to do something that I've never done before, that I have no practice of doing because I've always flown single pilot.
Right.
Because I have flown myself around for 1,600 hours.
Exactly. I mean, you know how to do this stuff.
But I should know as an instructor and as a guy who's looking for a job, I should know how to brief an approach. I should know.
Makes
sense.
But
I didn't know, right?
Okay.
So then it put me into a tailspin. This whole process experience put me into a tailspin because I didn't feel like I was Greg, the business owner, who's always on top of the world.
You're so confident normally because you are in charge.
Right, but that evening,
you did not feel that way.
It was a train wreck.
But you know what? You're the kind of guy that was going to learn from that shit.
Sure, of course I'll learn from it. But
yeah,
I mean, it's just
But that's a great example of how life. You can prepare for life on some levels, but you can't prepare for everything. I mean, in a weird sort of way, as prepared as you generally always are, right there. It's right there. Yeah. Because you generally are pretty prepared for shit. I'm a little better at spontaneity than you are, which is why I guess I come across as kind of fun in our podcast. But you're a much better planner than I am.
Well, here's the thing.
But you also really remember shit better. I'd do terrible in those interviews.
Look, you can BS yourself. You can BS your way through a podcast like this.
Yes.
It's really easy.
Correct.
But when people are asking you extremely specific questions, So then you can answer the question several different ways.
Right.
But you don't know what's on their mind.
Correct.
And if you don't know what's on their mind, you may not answer it the way they want it answered.
It's like your pop question for me. I always fear those in a weird sort of way, even though I think they usually come out funny. Because generally speaking, you ask me something funny or fun or entertaining, but I'm like, what if I don't get it? And it's just our podcast.
Well, the only time you fucked up the answers is when you like think into them real deep.
I get too deep in them. Yeah. Just go with spontaneity.
Like answer the goddamn question, you know?
Yeah. I get too philosophical sometimes.
All right. Just answer the question.
Yeah, again, it's just a pop quiz on a podcast. Yeah, so okay, that's a great story, Greg. So what, and I'm sure you're not completely finished with it, but my question would be, what did you really learn from that? Because you're a very good pilot, but you just got your commercial license like a few months ago?
A year ago.
A year ago, okay.
So then, yes, I am a good pilot. Yes, I understand how to.
You had to handle situations.
I've had emergency situations.
Yeah.
I've had difficult situations. I think I've had situations where other people would have died.
Right. I know you told me about one of those. Yes.
Yeah. And I handle them gracefully, and they work out.
Calm under pressure there. Yes.
Everything works out well.
Yes.
However, I felt so bad that evening because I was wearing a suit, and they were, and honestly, it was a suit from a couple years ago, and I didn't look so hot in it. Right? Okay. I didn't look so good in it as I did a couple years ago.
Gotcha.
So I'm like, okay, I need to leave.
But it's only like wait.
I know, but still, right? It's like it's in your psyche, right?
It's your psyche. Okay.
So then,
life is about psyche.
Yes. So then, last night, this guy calls me up. His name's Diego.
Mm-hmm.
Nice guy. He says, Greg, we want to talk to you again.
Okay, that's good.
I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. It's like, this has got to be a joke. I'm on Ken the Camel, right?
Right.
Where's Frank?
They want to talk again. That's good, right?
Where's Frank Tarkenton, right?
They saw something in you, maybe.
So I said, I was like, and you know what I said to him? I said, Diego, I said, why do you want a second interview with me? Right? He says, because you asked for criticism.
Well, there you go.
He said,
so you wanted to learn.
He said, nobody ever asks for criticism, but you did.
You want to learn.
Yeah.
You're open to learning.
Yeah. That's what he said. You're open to learning, so we want to have a second round with you.
Wow.
So I said, when's the second round? He says, 6 months. I said, I
might still be available.
Yeah. I'm like,
I'm semi-retired.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Whatevs, you know?
All right, man. It's still cool, though.
All right. I'm like, whatevs, you know?
But I mean, it's still cool, right?
I'm like, whatevs. You know. So then, that's the thing, man. You know, so then when I go in my restaurant, or when I'm here in Greensboro, I'm somebody.
You're the king of Greensboro tacos.
I'm somebody. I'm somebody.
You really are. This guy really is. I mean, he knows.
I'm
everybody.
I'm somebody in the sense that people here know my accomplishments.
Yes.
Right? So when they see me, they say, oh, well, this is Greg. We know who he is. Blah, blah, blah. Right?
Yeah.
But when I'm going for a job interview, people don't know anything about me. Maybe they Googled me. I don't know. But they know nothing about me. And so it's really difficult to do this.
To play that role. You're playing a role in a sense.
Can you get a spoon out of there? A small spoon out of there? Yeah, there you go. Thanks.
Yeah, so
Tell me where we're at on the rice.
It's al dente. I like it like that myself. Most people will probably want another minute or two, couple minutes. I like it. Got a little bit of chew.
Okay, we'll give another minute or two.
Personally, I think that's actually fine how it is. I will let the chef make the decision though.
All right, we'll give it 2 minutes, just like you want.
Make 2 minutes would be what I think most people would desire. To me, it's fine. I like a little al dente. Anyways,
we'll give it a few swigs of a beer.
Few swigs of a beer. That is a fascinating story, Greg. Thank you for sharing that. I want to throw this into a previous podcast where I think Greg, in this experience, has done what I like to try to coach people up for. Live life half full. Right? You never know what's coming at you. If you can just take the approach that you did the best you could, even if it wasn't what was expected, you did the best you could. There's no reason to be down on yourself. Right? You can learn from it, and you can move forward and be better. And that's it. Right?
That's right.
There you go. Life is all about learning, and you want to enjoy the ride as best you can.
John, I want you to taste this. It's been 2 minutes. It's been a couple swigs of a beer.
Now,
I want you to taste this. We start at 9:05.
the taste was already good.
It's 10:05.
Yeah.
It's 10:05.
Yep.
Okay.
The taste was already good. It's all about the tenderness of the rice.
1 hour.
No.
Okay. Taste that.
Beautiful.
Perfect.
That's perfect.
So I have a test question for you.
Okay.
Pop quiz.
These are our serving accoutrements.
Actually, yes. Let me do this here.
We'll pause here.
No, not at all.
Okay.
No.
Just
Not
doing
at
the
all.
serving
Yeah.
accoutrements.
Watch this. Got that right there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna put this on here. Glad you reminded me of that. This on
Sure.
These nice.
Fresh chives.
They're actually
Green onions.
green onions. Some green onions on there. And some onions.
So, lemons.
Lemons, yes.
Lemons. Onions, lemons.
Lemons.
They're similar.
We're done.
They're both
That's it.
vegetables. They're both in the vegetarian
That's
family.
it.
Very nice.
There's your paella.
Beautiful. We should take a picture of that.
Well, it's on the screen.
I know, but I want to
Oh,
take
yeah.
a picture anyway.
Take a picture.
My mom loved that. So that's smiling face.
So, that actually popped in.
You did not. You were getting ready to when I pointed out the onions, the green onions. Pop quiz.
Pop quiz.
Do
If
the
you had
best I can, people.
If you had a chance to have sex with a girl who was born in California and she was a 7,
Okay.
or a girl who was not born in America and she was a 10, is it made
10.
But she's not made in America.
Import the people, not the products.
So you would go
That's
for the
my
10.
saying.
So you'd go for the 10.
I'm going to import the people, not the products. Who are the hardest working people in America? The immigrants. I'm all in on 10. Immigrant 10.
Immigrant 10. All right, man. Well, hey, thanks a lot.
I'll take a California 7 if I ain't got immigrant 10 though.
All right, man. Thanks a lot, okay?
Thank you, buddy.
It's been good.
That was a fantastic show.
It was long.
Cooking.
It was long.
It's long, but I think we had enough
Long.
levels that some
Yeah.
people might make it through.
Yes. So, shout out to your mom, Mary.
Yep.
Mom, Mary, nice to see you. Thanks for watching.
You're awesome, Mom.
Shout out
Love
to
you.
Udo.
I gotta go to Germany.
Yes.
Find some time I can go to Germany and hang out with Udo, Marcus, and
We give John permission to go. If he cleans up his room, he can go. So shout out to Udo, shout out to Marcus, shout out to Philip, shout out to Stefan, shout out to Vasily at Sumbuhan, right? Shout out to Tanya, right?
Heck yeah.
So shout out to
Part of
everybody.
the family.
Yeah, shout out to everybody. Thanks for
Let's
watching.
give Henry a little shout out too.
Shout out to Henry.
Beautiful.
Word up, Henry. And we'll see everybody next time, okay?
Sounds good.
Bye.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen. Say bye. Bye.
If I could say Auf Wiedersehen, that'd be better.